the shotgun start in golf is full of mathematics. There's a lot of setup work that we have to do in order to make a tournament work. So I'm going to demonstrate to you just exactly how we do a shotgun start here.
And here we go.
All right, all right, all right. Gentlemen, start your engine!
Greetings and welcome to a Wednesday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is September 24th. Andy, how are we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing wonderful. You know, I'm enjoying my time in the big city.
The big city. At the moment, we're in Brooklyn. We've been all over Long Island, which I guess Brooklyn is a part of. We learned today that's technically on the land form, but they don't claim it. Neither claims it. I don't know how that works.
It feels like we're on you go out to Montauk, you're on the East End. We're on the West End right now.
I'll tell you what. Wherever we are, it's better than where we were the last time there was a Ryder Cup on American soil. I was looking at pictures the other day. You're huddled up like just like this little groundhog on the sleeper above the camper, above the driver's seat, and the camper in some parking lot in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Nothing against Wisconsin, where they read, letters from dead people to motivate, fake letters from dead folks. Nothing against Wisconsin at all. But we've come a little bit of a ways. I don't know about a long way, but we've come a little bit of a ways.
We've taken a few steps
from the RV.
Two small steps.
What we will learn is if the European away game operation has taken big steps, because they need to take big steps, given the margin the last time they played in America. This is great. It's great Ryder Cup week. We had our first day. We came later, I guess you would say. I don't know. It starts Friday. I feel like it's been quieter. We had the celebrity deal this morning, holding up play for the actual Ryder Cuppers. Slow play. Jose Andres, Bobby Flay, people like that.
Pau Gasol.
Pau Gasol.
Most famous for, in golf for presenting the medals.
I apologize to Catherine Zeta-Jones, not Spanish. I don't know why I suggested she was. She's Welsh, very far from Spain. She was out there. Yeah, so we have the celebrity.
Wasn't she in the movie with what's it?
She was in
Zorro.
several.
She was in Zorro.
Traffic, yeah. She's been in plenty of things. So we're at Celebrity Ryder Cup. It's been a quiet week. I started the week being like, you know what? I think I'm zagging. I'm done with people complaining about how this is the longest week. I want more non-actual match days. I want more takes, more bluster, more galas, more nonsense. Just keep it going. Start the matches on Saturday. But it's been uneventful.
More Don Rhea.
I mean, Don just barrel rolled into the scene today. Like just literally end over end, just came rolling in, popped up with his arms out. I'm here, baby. He's been behind the scenes. I think he's been present. PJ said he's been just popping in every press conference and just, flashing his Jordans and this and that. Do we need to go to Ray a minute? Or I guess it's Ray.
I think what we need to do is we need to talk about our friends at Optum.
That's right. Before we talk about our friends at the PGA, we got to talk about our friends at Optum, who have us here this week. It's a leading information and technology-enabled health services business dedicated to helping make the health system work better for everyone. We saw one of their offices today.
I've seen a couple of them.
Oh, really?
While I've been out here.
There we go. They have 200.
They're keeping New York healthy.
They have 210,000 people worldwide. So hence probably why we see a few of these offices. That's a hefty amount of folks. You got to house them. It delivers intelligent, integrated solutions that help to modernize the health system and improve overall population health. It is a proud partner of the Players Championship, and Rory McIlroy is an Optum Health ambassador. We haven't heard yet from Rory this week.
It's an interesting situation. Do you think Optum, American company, are they supporting Rory McIlroy and the Europeans this week?
It's an interesting situation. I mean, like the whole thing's commingled. The caddies, there's American caddies, there's European. The wives are obviously all sorts of different nationalities. There's a lot of American wives. I don't know about the company.
I think they're
sponsorship issue.
probably commingling.
They're commingling. Yes. It's just rooting for excellent matches and sportsmanship is probably what a lot of them are rooting for.
You can learn more.
Yep.
By visiting Optum, OPTUM.com.
That's right. Optum.com. Thanks to them for getting us up here this week. Not in an RV today.
Yeah, thankfully.
Yeah.
For a minute, we were contemplating RV again.
We were?
A thought crossed my mind.
I mean, you capital J jam me with that one. I don't even know. We were just a podcast. Was I working yet for Friday? And I landed in Chicago, and he said, "Oh, by the way, you're driving the RV." I was like, I'm bouncing in this thing around the loop, this or whatever the outer loop. You jam me on that one. But I did take the bedroom on that RV.
You got the master bedroom.
You were
I was sleeping in the
loft.
cockpit. I hit my head like every night that week. So.
Oh God!
You weren't complaining when you were the king of the castle in the back.
No, I was just crap my pants trying to not crash the RV driving around Chicago. But here we are. We're in New York. Not an easier driving situation at all, but excited to be here. Is this the biggest golf event ever, as has been touted, to your mind?
As a member of the media, I'd be remiss if I didn't get my media jab in here. It's not the biggest event ever if you look at the media center.
Oh my God!
But
what a dumb peripheral thing. But you know what? That thing sucks. It's too small. Damn it!
Yeah.
You're right.
We got 2 desks for 5 people. So
here we go. Griping early.
But yeah, I mean, I think like. What do you want at the biggest event? Like there's a million ways you could skin the cat on the biggest event. What the biggest event is. There's 24 guys playing. So like frankly, in that sense it's not the biggest event because there's 24 players. Is it the biggest event from like a hype standpoint, location that you're hosting it? Probably. Yeah. Number of people within a 3-hour, 4-hour drive of here.
Sure.
It is huge in that sense. So, yeah, this is it's funny. I haven't been like that amped for this. And then today I was watching the opening ceremony, which is like I'm generally out on opening ceremonies of any sort.
Are you defending the open?
I honestly got pretty excited about the matches. I was like, "Oh, this is going to be really fun on Friday morning."
What about the opening ceremony did that for you?
I think I just realized it was here.
It's formalizing that we're ready to rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were, I mean, let's just be fair. We were in the car having a good hoot and holler as certain people came on the, various monologues, montages. We heard about St. John's endlessly.
I like there's two coherent talking points I thought in the captain's speeches. Well, one was money. The Luke Donald, I loved him jabbing the money card a couple times.
Here's what,
and then I think Keegan wanted everybody to know he went to St. John's in case you didn't know.
Yeah, I mean I don't. We heard about it nonstop.
Did you know he was?
Yes. Yeah, the teammates, the coaches, the address,
the Bethpage Black.
He's from Boston, but he's a New Yorker. But he's an American. He's a honorary member of this Nassau Members Players Club, which we might hear from KVV later is just being completely covered. Like we might be arming like the enemy here by just putting them up in lights. We're arms dealing to the enemy here.
They got it on their bags.
Yeah. The precise Luke quote. This is where we're at. All right. This is our preview podcast. We have no lineups yet. This is the notion of the long week.
We've got pods though.
We've got pods. We've got a Ryder Cup hub. We've got great writing in our newsletter. We've got all sorts of preview content. But we're also going to be dissecting, opening ceremony speeches. That's what you can do. The Luke Donald quote was, "We know it won't be easy, but we are fueled by something money cannot buy. Purpose, brotherhood, and a responsibility to honor those who came before us." Do you think that was pointed and deliberate? Money cannot buy. That's a pretty.
I think he went to the money well twice.
He did say, yes, I would say the first one was more like benign and just observant of like, we don't play for a purse or world rankings points. I would say maybe it is pointed. I think the money talk has really, it's just a European sort of fueled debate or drama.
They're trying to jam those guys.
They really are. They're the only ones asking the questions. Like every time, it's like, Patrick's up, Cantlay's up there. It's some accent. Oh, Patrick, about the stipend. Will you be giving it all to charity? It's always the Europeans. I think you could flip it on them, right? And you could suggest that the Europeans just don't care about charitable endeavors by not agitating for their own stipends. It seems like they just care less about charity. They don't like they can play for pride and passion and those who came before them, but it appears they just are callous when it comes to charitable.
You know what they're playing for?
What are they playing for?
They play for the DP World Tour and keeping that ship afloat.
I mean, literally.
Yeah,
literally.
I know. So if they gave away all the money to charity, then there'd be no DP World Tour.
It'd be at the bottom of the North Sea. Yeah, it's not afloat anymore. I did enjoy Luke Donald's quote that, like, well, some of it comes into, like, we're reinvesting it into the players. So they get, extra saunas, extra massage tables, extra instead of
that
the
team
stipends.
room looked pretty nice.
Yeah, it did. It did. They had you see they had a crying or quiet room? Apparently, like that's interesting. If you need to go lock in,
you just go
I don't know.
take a nap.
I don't know what you do. Just a quiet room.
Who do you think's winning the pre-tournament content war between Team USA and the European?
You're trying to get me in trouble. You're trying to get me in trouble.
I'm just asking questions.
You're asking questions. You know what paths are going to go down. Yeah, you're not just asking questions. Look, I'm American. I would like, I like the golfers. I think they're probably going to win. There's something about like what Europe does that if America did it, and we were talking about content, I would say this is the cheesiest, most inauthentic garbage, gobbledygook ever. But when it is Europe, I often feel like, oh, this feels right. Maybe not moving, but certainly, impactful. There was one thing Luke Donald put out on early in the week about their uniforms, which I would normally just be like, I would give it the Sunday Red treatment. Like, this is like hilariously self-indulgent and treacly and garbage about how each uniform was a nod to the 4 away wins. And like, I don't know, he was just orating it, and I was like, oh, this kind of like makes sense. I'm buying what he's selling. And maybe that's just where we're at with the Ryder Cup since 1987, where it feels like everything feels a little more forced for the U.S. side, even if they're woodshedding the Europeans, or it's a marriage of, just requirement instead of, passion. But that's just sort of where I've fallen on the pre-tournament content. And there was a video where they went to the first tee on Monday morning that the U.S. put out, and it wasn't good. I'm just going to put it that way. It wasn't good. It felt forced. I think sort of a pending 9/11 to a golf tournament is you better hit the nail on the head with that one if you're going to do it. I get that we're in New York. I think you could tell it means a lot to Keegan. Like, it's really moving to see. Like, I have no doubt how passionate, emotional Keegan is about all this. But he brought his guys out there at the crack of dawn. They all look like, they're trying to hold in a fart, or the sun is just blistering like through their eyes as it's 8 a.m. and they're taking their hats off for somebody to sing the national anthem. Like, why? Why do we need a national anthem just at 8 a.m. on Monday on first tee with nobody around? 20 people. What are we doing? And they're all it's like, honestly.
Sam Burns didn't get dressed for
No,
the
he
occasion.
didn't. He got dressed for the hunt. He was going out to Montauk or something. And then you got Justin Thomas. He looks like when your parents would visit you at school And they come at like 8 or 9 a.m. on Friday, on Saturday or Sunday morning. They're knocking on the door with bagels or something like that. And you were like, you worked your way through a bottle of tequila or something like before. You got to go answer the door.
Yeah.
That's what Justin Thomas looked like, having to have the national anthem sung to him at Monday morning.
Just brought back a flashback. I lived in a basement unit, a garden unit, as they would say. And one time my parents, I think it was mom's or dad's weekend, and I slept through my alarm, and I woke up to them knocking on my window, because I couldn't get in the building.
Those are tough times. It's like bagels. I need like 30 gallons of water right now, please. No bagels.
And like 4 hours of sleep. So could you go to a park and? But of course you can't say that.
No. That's what some of these guys looked like on the tee this morning. Like, why am I here? And then, that the fireman was a good speech with his kid. He just, this is more than golf. It's not. This is much more important than golf. It's not. It's not. The country's not on their shoulders.
Come on, you're selling it short. This is Ryder Cup.
It's just a golf tournament. It's just a golf match. I get it. There are legacies won and lost and so on, but it's not like. The resolution in Ukraine's not coming out of this. There's nothing. It is just a golf tournament.
We haven't gotten we haven't gotten the two Dons together yet. Don Ray and Don Trump haven't met as they're probably going to on Friday.
There we go.
So I would hold
two Dons.
I would hold that until the two Dons meet, because that's a moment that could cure all the worlds here.
Do you want a first storyline? Let's go to our first storyline.
We're going to our first storyline
graphics. My two Dons, Don Trump and Don Ray.
They're gonna be on property on Friday together.
Two fellas who know how to rumble their way into the camera view and get some takes off, get some thoughts off. That's a big storyline for you at the start of the week.
Yeah,
Dons.
I can only hope that the President of the United States takes away, some of the great lines that Don Ray has given us. My personal opinion.
What's my personal opinion?
I'm the President of the United States.
I speak for all 300 million of us. Is that what he's going to? I don't think that's. Don't think Don Trump's pretending to do that in any way, shape, or form. He's got personal opinions. So we'll maybe there will be something larger than golf. Anything else from the opening ceremony? You had our old friend, podcaster, colleague, Carson Daly came out. It's just like tried to rile to, the tepid response.
It seemed I don't know. I felt like the audience, Carson came out and didn't really match the audience. It felt like there was a little like disconnect with what the audience was kind of picking up. I will say, this vaunted New York audience seems to really like the Europeans.
They're working them. They're working the crowd.
Working the room.
The Euros are working the crowd. PJ was there. PJ, jump in here yesterday while we're on the subject.
PJ, like your God, from outside the camera view.
Yeah, you can hear me. You can't see me. I'm omniscient.
So the Euros are signing autographs all the way down from green to tee.
Very
cheery.
To the
next tee.
Very super cheery. Everybody's so happy to be there. Mm-hmm. All of them. United States, I would say not so much. Question mark. So 14 yesterday. It's the JT, Bryson, Cam, Ben Griffin group, and they're walking from 13 green to 14 tee, and a little kid yells out, "JT, can you sign my thing?" And JT just goes, "No, maybe after the round, not doing it during the round." And he goes, "Well, the Europeans are doing it during the round. Look at my flag. I got everybody on it." And JT goes, "Oh, that's because they're trying to make you like them." And his kid's mom goes, "Well, it's working."
It is.
It's crazy. I was out there, following the Europeans today. They're just like, if there's a kid on the rope line that's like saying like, "Can you sign this?" They're just like, "Come on out, come under the ropes, run out here."
The Euros are inviting.
And they're making kids' dreams possible. I think this hits on one of your storylines. What's your Your thought of what they're trying to do with the crowds?
The charm offensive?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. The next underrated is the charm offensive. The Euros, they leave the range and they're like, all right, there's just a bunch of little pissant kids with their flags needing autographs, maybe some crooked, secondary market adults looking to, I don't know, get beer money for the night. Asking for autographs, and every single American's like after the round. Like they're going to come to that spot on the driving range after the round where those kids are just going to wait for 3 hours or something like that.
That's what I never understand when they say that. I get like the idea if they signed autographs, you'd just be signing forever. And like the Euros, though, like legitimately today, we're like between every tee box, they're just signing away.
The charm offensive.
Off of every tee, they're signing away.
They're making a concerted.
They also had to kill a bunch of time, though, because the celebrities.
I mean, the celebrities were out in front of them.
So they had plenty of time to sign because of the celebrity Ryder Cup.
Brooklyn Beckham, famous for being David Beckham's child. Nothing else. And he's into photography. That was his bio. Take some pictures. He's the son of somebody famous. Was in the way, clogging up the tee sheet.
They should have had Ken Griffey Jr. in there. I guess he couldn't have been on the European side.
I talked to Junior today.
You did.
Great guy. He's a big fan of LeBron, by the way. Big fan of LeBron.
Do you see LeBron?
He's watching the opening ceremonies.
He was saying, "Go Team USA."
This is incredible. It's amazing what he's just all in on golf. I mean, what's he watching the schlocky opening ceremony for? What is like? You've got Jimmy Fallon, lightweight Jimmy Fallon, with these essays about the grit of. If I hear more about the grit of New York, I don't know if PJ wanted to defend your people, but like, fine.
It's not a gritty city, though.
I'm sure it's big. It's everything. It's fancy. It's rich. It's crooked. It's
the world
gritty,
revolves around it.
I mean, that is
everybody like
they
the
get
world
everything.
gravitates. I was talking to KVV on our way out, and I'm like, we were talking about last night. We're out. It's like, it's 11 p.m. and there's just people everywhere. It's crazy.
Awesome.
It's very cool. It's a very cool city. But then I said, they kind of start slow, and KVV said, they can do whatever they want because the world kind of revolves around them.
Yeah.
That's not an example of grit. To me, grit is a town like Cleveland, where you've got a shitty lake that you live next to.
Get out of here with that. It's a great lake. Beat the Packers.
But Cleveland would be a city I might describe as gritty.
If New York was in Ohio, where would it rank? If the city was in Ohio.
Well, are you talking about Brooklyn or New York?
If Greenwich Village was a city in Ohio, above or below Pittsburgh?
Probably be number one.
So above Pittsburgh.
I mean, Jimmy Fallon talking to anyone about grit just seems like bizarre. Keegan just won't. But these are the talking points. It's all just like empty. Airy-fairy stuff. I did hear Keegan was terrified of reading off the teleprompter at the opening ceremony. Just like wanted to rip from the hip, but he had to read off the teleprompter. I have no other opening ceremony.
I have one other question for you, based off of what I saw today.
What?
Everybody last Ryder Cup, the hat was a big controversy. I saw everybody was wearing hats, but Luke Donald, LD.
No hat.
No hat.
I mean, he's
What's going on?
Handsome fellow with a good coif.
He's got a nice head of hair, but I think the questions need to be asked. Are you protesting the Ryder Cup?
Oh, because there's less charitable giving going on.
Yeah.
Because they didn't
I
agitate
think if I was an American player, I might start trying to get some people to ask those questions, ask the tough questions. Where's your hat?
Do you legitimately care a lot about this money thing? I think it's kind of an own goal by the U.S. the way they framed it. Or do you care?
I don't care. I think like I think what's going to happen. These guys don't realize it. It's often the case with these things is that you're just kind of like walking yourself down the plank.
Yes, that's all they're getting. The questions.
So you're getting all the questions about it now, and then one of the things about charities is they have to disclose where the money goes. So the other piece of this is you're drawing attention to your charitable arms, and I think like these guys, like these guys have great charitable organizations that have a lot of great causes, but what you're doing is you're also just opening yourself up. You're kind of opening yourself up for attention of where's this going and where's this going, because this is all public record.
I've got my friends who work, my neighbors who work in government, sending me balance sheets, sending me charitable giving. This player got 400 in one year and 100 only went out. So we're gonna have to do some accounting.
This is the problem.
Yeah.
It's just, and for every player, outside of maybe like JJ Spawn, on the American team, like JJ Spawn, this is probably like he's at the stage of his career where it's like, oh wow, like, $500,000, this is like a big deal. I could do a lot with it because he's thinking about quitting golf 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So outside of him, like this isn't I'm not ever going to say this money is like insignificant, but it's relatively insignificant in the course of their career. I mean, these are the types of players that can show up at a Monday outing, that some corporate Monday outing, and get paid six figures, like just for a day work. Like I guess like I'm not here to say they don't deserve to get paid. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that it's outside their right. All you're doing though is you're drawing attention and you're giving the other side, the Europeans, just something to pick at all week long.
Right. It's an own goal. And the fact of it isn't life altering at all, right? It's not like, then just who cares if this is just like an extra couch cushion money. And there is like the reality of the fact that not all of it is like earmarked for charity. It's 300, 200.
Yeah.
Derek Sprague was up on the Golf Channel set on Monday, I think it was. And just, I wouldn't say he's, you might not call him the greatest orator of our times, right? He's not, Aristotle up there. But
he's not Don Raya.
No, he's not Don Raya. And he was like, and then Keegan's like, we're just bringing it in the modern age. We're bringing it up to standard. But they've changed the calculation because it's not all for earmarked for charity. And Sprague was on set. He goes, yeah, the 300, those guys, like they're doing so much good for their communities. I think that is true. And then the 200, and he just stopped. He changed, like, it's just going to be great. It's going to be like he did like, oh, wait, how do I finish that sentence? Because some guys might give it all to charities, but we don't know. Some might not. It's just like they've created this narrative. It's totally self-created. And the Euros are using it. Like, we play for something greater.
And this is like the thing, the whole dynamic of this event, I guess, is that the Euros unite and come together around one goal, and that's the entire like setup of the event. And meanwhile, on the other side, the story, because of their own volition and actions and desires to get some of the piece of the pie, then becomes like this story becomes kind of about money and really like the big thing is that the U.S. team is always the team. For some reason, like the other teams constructed of players from all over, from different countries who speak different language, who have different languages from their country. That team unites, but somehow the American team in recent years, I would say this is probably a post-Tiger era. And I think like that maybe if you if you thought about this, I'm just thinking aloud here, but like the fact that you had two star players that don't get along made the team ununitable for a period of time, and they've never really recovered from that because like now one of the things that gets in the way of them being united is this money thing. Like, do they all want to be there? Xander being like, I have to go to all these stupid dinners. Like, like that is the stuff that like you never hear the Euros complain about. Like the Euros just spent 2 weeks together on Long Island,
And you make an interesting point about Tiger and Phil, not to shoot arrows at them now, but when Luke Donald talks about like we're playing for like who came before us, and this past, and like, some of that stuff. I talked about how it impacts me more than I would say corny for the U.S. did it. Like the Sevy lionizing is just, it's like a butt much. Just every single thing. I get it. He was a legend at this. None of these guys basically ever met Sevy. Maybe a couple of them did. And like, but it has become this vision, this apparatus in the team room, and
identity,
this mythical thing. Whereas you're talking about Tiger and Phil, the two guys that just hated each other, and Phil's now tweeting about whatever, and Tiger's just off the stage completely and not involved. And, when they announced this would be Ryder Cup New York, it was probably a thought that those two would be integrally involved. And they're nowhere.
You think about by all accounts, we're dying for Tiger to do the captaincy here. And he said, I'm too busy. Which led you to Keegan, just out of left field, Keegan.
St. Johnny's.
Earmarked before Tiger. The idea before Tiger was Phil, who then decided to just drop an atomic bomb on the professional golf world and, effectively get excommunicated from Golf Society.
Yeah.
So, and you think about it, that's been like the steady forces of the U.S. team since really like 1997.
Yep. That said, they're favored to win. They've got better players, or higher ranked players, I should say. Better
Slightly.
is a subjective thing. Yes, and it's a home thing, and we know the home advantage has been massive in the recent run. Anything else from the opening ceremony? I didn't expect to go first.
Are we still talking about the opening ceremony?
No, anything else from the preamble is what I'm suggesting.
I guess we should talk about the setup.
All right.
PJ wrote about this in the Fried Egg newsletter. You should subscribe. PJ wrote about this. I got out there today. It is shocking how short the rough is.
It's nice. It's a nice little. If it were my front lawn, I'd be like, that's a good cut right there. Don't go any lower. Good kids can play on that. Have a ball.
So we got no rough, and we're gonna have soft greens after Friday's rain or Thursday's rain. I think like. I was talking with some people, and I would say like a somewhat important European voice said to me, it's just a very American setup,
which would
exactly what we expected. And then they said they just don't like it hard.
It's interesting. That doesn't sound like grit. It sounds like the opposite of grit. What do they want? They want pins, easy pins, low rough, and just birdie ball.
Yeah,
is what they want.
I think that's what they're trying to do. I saw some accounts. I saw clipped the guys that do the college scoring said that the setup sets up. They're trying to make it a putting contest, maybe because the Americans have the best putters. I guess it's like a little bit of a fickle skill. I would say like. And I'm curious. We'll bring the boys in, Joseph. I'd be curious what Joseph thinks. But like, does shortening the rough yield an advantage for longer hitters in a way? I think like if we normally set up with a normal setup, Bethpage would favor power a ton, and I wonder between soft greens and short rough, does that mitigate some of the power?
Feels like we're gonna get over an inch of rain allegedly on Thursday. We'll obviously also have lineups. We may talk about those when they come Thursday as well. Are we looking at ball in hand in addition to this?
No, they can't do that.
It was soft there today, and they're going to get an inch on Thursday. No rough, ball in hand. It's just barely golf. They're going to have a potato gun shooting the ball down the fairway, but by the second session. It is light rough. I will say. Like we talk about the biggest event, this golf course is whatever you want to make of it, certain holes. Like it is what I've concluded. It is truly like an American treasure. It's like an American story, an American treasure. And the fact that it's happening here is significant in a way. And I don't think Europe ever emphasizes any kind of impact, meaning, or purpose behind any of their venue choices, at least not in the modern era. Like there is meaning behind this choice. There is some architectural intrigue behind this choice. There's some historical intrigue behind this choice. It's this facility, I think, is truly like an American. I don't want to say it's like a miracle or anything. It's an American treasure, and it's the fact that obviously going back to the USGA's emphasis in rejuvenating it. It is very cool that this Olympics, you only get it every 4 years here, it has come to this specific facility, and it amplifies it in a major way for me.
What my first note I wrote into my notes today was just about how well Bethpage sets up for a monster event like this.
Yeah.
Like, it's down to even there's like a lot of space between holes.
Yeah.
On the back nine, they have grandstands on 13, on 14, on 15, on 16. Like, everywhere you look, there are grandstands because the place has space. It's very cool. The land is so majestic. I hadn't been out here since the last PGA here. It is just such an extraordinary piece of property. I think like it'd be amazing. I think it's kind of due for another renovation at some point. It would be an amazing, amazing venue with some really good work done to it. It is already an awesome venue, and it's an awesome place. And, I think, like, one of the good things is, like, one of the things that you might have picked at as, like, yeah, they took it to this people's place, and then they charged tickets that, outpriced all the people. The good news is StubHub prices are coming down.
Oh, they're coming down? Yeah, I thought that might happen if you're going to find that many people to pay $1,000 for 4 matches. The rough is down. Grandstands have sort of neutered some of the intrigue. 17, PJ wrote about 17. That's going to be shorter because they put a grandstand on the back of that, which is fine. 14, where we saw Brooks have to get up and down when it became like knuckle up time there late on Sunday.
There.
It's a grandstand on top of it. That little fall off over 14. So that's, been sort of neutered in a way. The rough has obviously been neutered, but like you said, the land is super cool, and it's a beast. It's a hard walk. It's be wet and sloggy, and it's pretty cool that they have brought it. You're going to hear all about the corporate build out and all that stuff. It is whatever. What you hear is accurate. It's massive. There's so much. You go on that first tee and it feels like you're in a theme park or something with all the artificial structures up there. On that, with the crowd, as you would expect, it's going to be, and I remember this from PGA distinctly, and that's non-adversarial. Those last, let's call it like 14, obviously to 18, but 14 to 17, that like neck there where it's 15T, 16 green, 17T, people are going to be hammered, and that's going to get intense. I remember it was for the PGA. And obviously those are going to be holes of consequence likely, unless we get another 9 and 7. It is set up really well. Ryder Cup match play events are obviously always going to go for, we want a lot of people at 16, 17, 15 holes because that's where we think the matches will end. Here, I think you're going to have also an element of like the GA, general admission impact. It's going to get pretty I think rowdy, just based on the amount of people there and the amount of holes that can be affected in that bottleneck there.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be loud
at critical moments.
There's so many people on property. It's such a big venue that it allows for so many people to be there, and there's so few golfers on the golf course that it just makes every match huge.
Yeah,
there are no matches that have a sparse crowd.
Yeah.
So I think I think the crowd will be a big story, and I hope it stays to where it's not a big problem.
To the charm offensive point earlier, like I saw some guys getting run ragged, getting rode pretty hard. They're like not reacting at all right now. It's practice. Like if you start engaging or flipping out, I imagine that's going to become a story and all that. And so they're just like tuning it out. There were some guys though, like going hard at European players on the range, out there on the back nine. It's going to get intense.
What player on the European team would you say is most likely to lose their shit?
I Bobby Mack thing. I don't know if this is way of Shane Lowry or Tyrrell Hatton, but I think he's quicker to get feisty.
He got the drone earlier in the year, got under his skin. I think that's a good pick. I don't think Tyrrell will. I think Tyrrell mostly is giving himself shit, and he'll probably think a lot of that is funny.
Yeah.
Lowry would be one that would jump to mind.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Rom.
Anyone else?
Rom's caddy.
Rom's caddy.
Yeah.
It's going to get – do you put any on the course? Do you put any stock in the cutters on odd holes, drawers on even holes? There's like this –
For the golf course?
Yeah, this notion is set up that like say like 1, 5, 7, all cuts. Like odd holes, you put a fader. Most everybody's a fader nowadays.
The problem is there aren't many drawers.
Well, this debate has risen that like distance is more important than shape. Just like Bryson should be hitting on 9. Like he can carry that bunker on 9 over the corner, and don't worry about whether he draws it in 1, 5, 7. Don't set it
at Bethpage, because of how many elevated approaches there are. It is just. And especially with the short rough, I think it's just bombs away. Especially the longer hitters like your Rorys, your Brysons. I think they are going to be just their eyes are lit up and it's teed high, and I'm just gonna hit this as hard as I can.
Length, I think, is more important than just this guy.
Well, I mean,
cuts
like
it 5
if
yards,
I can
this
get
guy draws it.
If I'm Rory and I know there's no rough and I can just send it and I know my partner's gonna have a wedge in, it doesn't really matter. Like all you're trying to do is get wedges in there. You know, there's not the severe part of Bethpage. What makes it so hard is hitting long approaches up these hills, and with the really long players, the ultra long players, they mitigate so much of that challenge because you're hitting up hills with short irons and wedges.
Yeah,
and like the idea of we'll see who some of the pairings are, but like, for Rory, he's probably going to pair with Tommy Fleetwood in alternate shot, and him being able to hit Fleetwood being able to hit wedges and short irons from where Rory hits drives is such an advantage. And I think it seems like the Americans are doing something similar with Bryson and JT. I don't think Bryson's going to enjoy hitting from where some of JT's tee shots, but JT, a great wedge player, is going to really enjoy hitting shots at Bethpage from Bryson's tee shots.
When you talk about sending it and just wherever it goes, we'll figure it out, just wedge it. Number 1 is a complete disaster of a hole.
Yeah.
I mean, I talk architecturally, whatever. The mowing lines is comical. It looks like this little spaghetti noodle on a plate and everything, like the way they mowed it, all that. I don't even need to get pedantic about that. But you've enticed guys to drive the green, and none of the crowd can see the green. No one can understand the result of what has happened. This is a spectator sport. This is a spectator arena. This is what, like Whistling Straits, Bryson can go and throw his hands up. Now we're just looking at a grove of trees, and we don't know what's over yonder. It's a mess. It's a bad hole. It looks impotent. It looks terrible. The fairway might as well just all be rough because these guys, besides like Russ Henley, Russ Buss, and Morikawa to a lesser extent, aren't even just make it rough all the way to the trees and something else. They're not even going straight. But no one can see the conclusion, including the players. Can't signal anything. And that's the whole point of making it drivable. We have no idea. We need to come up with a name for the grove of trees. After 1, I'm kind of entranced with the course. It's great, but the 1 is just comical to look at.
I would just say that the entire place is very cool.
Yes,
it is
I agree.
A very cool place. In the manner that it's presented architecturally between mowing lines and bunkers is like a shell of what it should be. and one's obviously a big offender of with the mow lines. Those trees, like the reality of those trees is they're pretty much irrelevant at this point for modern golf.
I know.
So I don't know, but at the
like
same
this-
time, this is one of the busiest facilities in the world.
Sure.
And it's hosting a Ryder Cup. It's pretty incredible. And it's cool. I think it's really neat to when these events are hosted at places where the general population and like everybody that plays golf in an area has like a tie to. So I think that overall it's cool. I'd love to. Let's chat a little bit about some of the potential pairings. Obviously, those come out next week, but I think that the hands have been tipped. What are some pairings that you like?
You mentioned it. I don't know if I like it, but the Bryson JT pairing is an interesting development this week. It seems like they could be playing alternate shot together. There's Cam Young is playing a max fly ball or practicing with a max fly ball, which would suggest he is going to be partnered with Benny Booms, as the PGA social account has now termed him. Ben Griffin is now Benny Booms.
Why do you think he's called that?
Just alliteration, nothing else.
Do you like Patty Ice or Benny Booms more?
Benny Booms, for sure.
I think it's better.
So bad it's good. It might be okay, I should say. The JT Bryson is I think an unexpected development in a way. There's been notion that Cam might be the only guy with the speed to hit Bryson's ball. There's an argument that like put Cam with Bryson. There was that Bryson might be with Ben Griffin, sort of as the rookie that just playing with the misfit that maybe not everybody wanted to play with Bryson. But in the end, it's we'll hear about it Thursday afternoon.
You know who they need to get out there?
Who's that?
40 Pitts.
40. Somebody said they thought they saw 40 walk. No, it wasn't 40. Okay. So Bryce and JT may be coming together. Are you into that?
I don't know.
The bots will be out there loving
shot,
that one.
I think like alt shot really penalizes bad shots. And for me, if I was looking at this USA team, I would think that probably the guy that hits the most bad shots is JT. He is
wild.
He's wild. It's what's hurting him in high leverage championships.
Yep.
And that would be the thing that worries me is that I'm saddling Bryson with a guy that is not long and crooked, and nobody likes playing for what it is. Like Bryson's game thrives on power. I'd rather see him play with Cam Young.
Yeah.
To be frankly, because like Bryson's gonna be hitting approach shots from places he's used to. That being said, you're banking here on JT hitting the wedges where
Great
Bryson
wedge
hits
player.
it from.
Yeah. Great wedge player.
And I think that's like Bryson's going to be hard to figure out with alternate shot, but I think this American team needs him to play 4 or 5 sessions, and because he's on talent and course fit. In terms of course fit, he's the best player on your team. So you got to get him out there, and you got to get him out there a lot, and he has to play alternate shot. So, this is who they're going to try it with.
Yeah, that's. We've seen all the metrics say you win the foursome sessions, you win the Ryder Cup. There's been a massive sort of emphasis on the home team, kind of cleaning up those sessions in recent cups. The Americans, for the longest time, were like, "Oh, they can't play alternate shot. They can't play alternate shot," and we've seen them sort of, the narrative still persists out there, but they've reversed that in the last several home cups. We'll talk about the actual lineup, but it seems like we could be trending towards Bryce and JT off first. I just think like there will be a lot of bots, a lot of emotion, a lot of fans fired up around that one. And
when you say bots, are you talking Bryson fans?
Yeah.
Okay.
Benny bots out there.
Bryson bots.
Benny Booms and Benny bots. I don't know. I would watch that match with like my eyes closed, my eyes covered. I feel like that the emotion could get, the wind could be knocked out of the sails really fast, right? With some wild JT drives. Bryson gets on the fritz really fast, gets a little mental, gets frustrated. Feels like a potential recipe for disaster, but maybe they dominate. It just feels like they could get, just tsunamied out of there quickly, despite their immense talent.
Yeah, I mean, you're hoping. I think as you said, foursomes wins the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
And what's tough with the European team is like they've got some just great foursomes players. If you look at Justin Rose and Tommy Fleetwood, their combined foursomes record is 11-2-1. And those guys, you'll see Fleetwood and Rory together.
That's a perfect, same ball, same manufacturer, love each other, the great vibes. That's a great foursomes.
And then who will play with Rose? Do you think? Is it Lowry maybe?
Have we heard Rose on alt shot? Hovland, I think, has been potential. We're not sure yet on Rose, but he's a great foursomes player.
And it's like you get those two guys who've just done so well in the format, and obviously, like one of the Europeans' big advantages in foursomes is like they play it more often. Growing up, they've played. They have events on the European tour. They have those like little cups that they play it in.
Yeah.
Put whatever stock you
Hero
want on
Cup
it, but yeah, I think it's a, and I think like from the American side, like you look at the Scheffler Henley pairing, and that's pretty great pairing, pretty great alternate shot pairing. If you're gonna go on the other side, for them it's gonna be about. I think like a big question for me is like Xander Schauffele and Patrick Cantlay have been the stories of these recent Ryder Cups, and I think like there's a lot of questions about like where those guys are. There's a lot of questions on where Colin Morikawa is right now, and what are you getting out of them, and how much are they playing? Like, I imagine Xander and Cantlay are going to go out in the first session. They're horses. So you start to do, you have Bryson and JT. I think we'll see how that pairing works. You're going to have Scheffler and Henley out, and you'll probably have Cantlay and Xander out, which leaves one more pairing out there.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic of like the last time we were here, like holy crap, USA has this core that are going to be like top 12 players forever, and it was Morikawa, and it was JT, and it was Xander, and it was Cantlay,
and Brooksy,
and
DJ was.
Yeah, he's on the upper.
Nobody would ever expect the Nicholas Jacklin Award winner to fall off in 4 years. That's never happened before.
I need odds for that Nicholas Jacklin Award. Who's going to win it?
I've got a good candidate.
Who?
What about Don Raya?
Just like that meme of Obama putting a medal around himself. He hands himself the Nicholas Jacklin. Honestly, non-zero chance. I wouldn't put that above him or below him. I don't know.
What if the Dons share it?
Just like Jacklin and Nicholas themselves,
that could be what they come up with when they meet.
Is there a pairing you're particularly excited about on either side? Those four guys I talked about, Morikawa, Schauffele, Cantlay, and JT, major question marks. Not major, but little uncertainty. I think the fact that they're such high-profile players, they've all won majors, not Cantlay, I guess. Won majors, they're like been top 10 players in the world for a long time. Like, there's an increased scrutiny. I would say, like, Europe has a handful of guys that maybe aren't peaking or playing their best either. It's just the microscope's not as intense.
I think like Ludwig and Hovland are the ones that you would point to in a similar vein of Xander and Cantlay. Is Xander and Cantlay have been so much for the American team. Well, if you go back to Rome, those two guys were such a spark, especially right out of the gates for the Euros, and they have not played their best golf this year. A pairing I'm excited about. just because they've already crossed the Rubicon, is Hatton and Rahm. I mean, they've already accomplished. They've already accomplished the unthinkable, the unimaginable in a team setting this year. This is gonna, you hear about that you get knock one thing down and it just makes everything easier after that. Those guys they're gonna feel nothing on the first tee because of their live team championship win.
Yeah, we'll get these Thursday afternoon.
We might do something live. We might.
I think we're gonna
promise.
We're gonna do some sort of quick hit and giggle reaction once we have but we've seen a lot of signals for the way this was going to go. We do, I don't think there's any Zach element here where the signals, there might be like straight up panic button, like before session 2, where Zach is like scurrying around the team room being like, just, Scheffler and Bryson play together. Go now. And, like, it seems like Zach, I'm clear, like, Zach, after being here the last couple of days and watch, like, the fact that you have to talk so much during these 4 days and the week ahead just compounded. Like, Zach was like had no chance because he's not a good talker, even for the low expectations you might have for a Keegan or just a golfer to have to be this great talk. That I has emphasized to me, like, well, he might have been doomed before they ever, like, everybody already thought he was a doofus before they even did the lineups, and then it got worse. Yeah, I don't think you're going to – we pretty much know. We've been signaled what's going to happen. There might be an alteration here or there.
You talked about the assistant captains. One humorous thing I thought today is just like watching these assistant captains, major champions, and like they're like talking to the caddies like, yeah, I got your range balls are down there. Like, I already put them out for you. It's like they become like little errand boys this week.
There's I'm not familiar with the soccer or the football, but there's an Italian, Gianfranco Zola, who is Francesco Molinari's kart driver. The guy was like a major Serie A and Champions League player and manager.
What team do you play on?
I think Chelsea.
He's not.
Chelsea, famous Chelsea player, manager as well.
Not one of my Arsenal guys.
Gianfranco Zola, famous soccer player. He's driving Francesco's kart with a Yeti backpack and handing out sandwiches. He's just this Jamie Kennedy, who's from...
What kind of sandwiches do you think?
I don't know. They were prepackaged. I don't think he was like making them in the kitchen.
Do you think they got them from a local establishment?
Maybe an Italian eatery. He's an Italian fella.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's just testing to see how authentic it is. But Jamie Kennedy is like, this guy is like super famous. And he's just like, I watched him. He's like had this Yeti cooler. He's like, here's your sandwich, Tommy, and all. It was like kind of, that's what the Ryder Cup begets. Michael Jordan might do the same. Who knows? He might be coming along later. Second greatest basketball player of all time might be coming later in the week with a handful of tickets. Anything else from your notes walking around? One quick thing. You said there was a notable European that just said, "Oh, this is so American, the way they set it up easy." What would be the inverse? What would be the European? Just the like, aren't they?
Well, they go to a place like Le Golf National where there's just water everywhere, and Phil's hitting irons into the water, conceding matches before the ripples on the lake settle.
Yeah,
that's what European
is it? I mean, I don't know. Adair Manor's probably going to be just like.
I mean, Adair Manor might be an American Ryder Cup.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I just would like to know what the inverse is of American Easy. But
I have
notes.
a real question.
This
was a note that I just wrote down when I was in a moment of solitude walking around by myself. I'm getting major, like, the U.S. team is saying all the right things about Bryson. Like, I'm getting major, like, when a guy's a cancer in a locker room potential, where everybody says the right things to the media, but at the second there's a little bit of controversy or a little bit of adversity, like shit could hit the fan really quick. Like, that's like, you watch these guys up there and everybody's asking about Bryson and everybody's like, oh, he's just great. He's great. This is the perfect environment for him. He's such a good teammate. But then, like, the second something goes wrong, it could, it's like is kind of like a wide receiver just tossing their quarterback under the bus.
I was going to say, this reminds me of like Antonio Brown when he went late stage with like the Bucks. Tom Brady's like, oh, I got him. We're good. We're buddies. And like 3 weeks later, he's running off the field with no shirt on in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
they're like, oh, he's good. We got the guardrails up. We got him. It's good.
If this goes well,
vibes of that.
If this goes well, it's going to be hunky dory. But I could see, if I was gonna point out one point of I could see this getting messy on the American side. That's what I'm gonna highlight here.
I think they might rally around him because they have a certain voodoo doll to throw darts at in the name of Brandel Chambly now at the start of the week, and I appreciate.
Do you think Brandel did this for the U.S. team? Do you think this was his sacrifice for America?
I think Brandel comes by his opinions, honestly, mostly, and hard earned sometimes. In between, quoting Kierkegaard and Nietzsche and all these things, he does have some. I don't know. I think he's honest and takes, but I clipped this on Monday, and he's just. It's become a sewer of people worked up, and he said, Bryson juices his views or his YouTube views. It's bots. It's not real. He then said he's a captain's nightmare because he, won't pair anyone well with anyone. He just cares about himself. I think, if I'm being fair to Bryson, he was being asked to talk about the chirping with Rory that Rory then said, he just wants attention. So he puts other people's name in his mouth. And in Bryson's goofball, maybe not that bright away, just started talking about YouTube. That's what he defaults to. He defaults to YouTube.
He loves talking about YouTube.
But I think he was trying to avoid going back at Rory and just inflaming it and citing it more. And then Brandel somehow makes this so he doesn't care about his team and he just cares about his YouTube. I think he was just trying to avoid going back at Rory. Brandel in a Rainer article today published that also quoted Kevin Van Valkenburg, head of a director of content, Friday Golf. Brandel also said, you want to tell me Bryson moves the needle? I'm like, he moves the needle if he's playing against Scotty Scheffler in the U.S. Open. Bryson doesn't move the needle in everybody. You want to say, well, he's got 900,000 views on YouTube. First of all, his YouTube account is owned by the Saudis. Can you tell me those views are authentic and organic? I call bullshit on that. 900,000 views, my ass. So this is what Ryder Cup preamble days. We have a bot debate between Brandel and Bryson going on.
Question I have: Do you think he's steelmanned that argument?
I think that one.
Would you say that's a straw man or a steel man?
I'm starting to see the theory. I just don't know if it would hold up in a court with the evidence that he's presenting.
So you're saying it's more of a straw man?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't even know what those terms mean.
I just wanted to make. I've been told these steel man's thing.
Do you? I can't believe this has been the biggest thing. I've heard from civilians who didn't even know I was the one who clipped it. I thought it was good TV. I thought it was interesting. Did I expect Bryson people to be enraged? I guess. Yeah, captain's nightmare is some pretty harsh terms. It's become the predominant subject so far, and it's good. I thought it was interesting TV and pretty hot take, I would say, but it's certainly inflamed the American fan base and probably, I think, maybe a little bit of the team room. Maybe Brandel's a voodoo doll for them. Maybe.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll see. You think it could be Antonio Brown by Saturday morning?
I just if they send him out first and they get just I just can't see JT enjoying getting smoked with Bryson.
No.
This is the thing. I think there is real potential for that pairing. I see the vision. I also see the downside of that pairing. Because if they go out and things don't go well, maybe they don't agree on something that they're doing, and you get two pouty boys out of that. Those are probably the two worst boys to be pouty on the team.
And then if it fails with JT, you're
then where do you go?
Is it Ben Griffin? Now it's just It's like a kamikaze mission, and
Yes,
you handcuff them together and run them into a minefield.
This is the complex nature of the whole thing. Is that the Americans need Bryson? They need him. I think that he's
a showman. It's so.
He's a top
insane to
3
watch.
important player on the American side.
Yeah.
I think that's like pretty safe thing to say. They need him, but he's the most difficult person to, it seems like deal with on a daily basis. And he's the most difficult person to find a partner for.
There was a moment this morning where the like track man on the big board on the range just ended up with like Bryson and Rory's like numbers were at the same time. You could tell Bryson was like looking at it and then going a little harder, and like the fans would react. It's like the game within the game. Like who can win the range battle? Just preposterous.
Listen, if Bryson goes out there, I think like I want to reiterate this. Like if Bryson plays great this week, he will agitate the shit out of the Europeans. Like there's nobody. I think like on the flip side of like, yeah, like some of the Americans might be putting up with him right now.
Yeah.
If he plays well, he is going to piss off the Europeans.
Yep.
That is like a known fact. So I just think he is the guy to kind of watch, and I think he's the most important player on either side this week. Just because he's a force of nature that could literally like agitate either side.
Yeah. Yeah. He was just. They were playing nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. I guess Keegan's choice. And he's just like doing the crowd stuff. He's like, doing Arsenio Hall essentially when he runs on the first tee. He's so into it. It's good in a way if you're the crowd. He does seem to acknowledge everybody, all the kids that are shouting his name.
Do you want to bring everybody in?
Let's bring. You have any other quick notes? Empty the notebook.
No. I got stuff that I'm gonna get out.
One quick one. I talked to some security for the detail. For each player has two policemen or 2 patrolmen. The guy said he's getting here at 3 a.m. for a certain individual on Friday. They have to be here at 3 a.m. because Friday's gonna be a mess with Trump and everything. It's always a mess when it was Hazeltine or it's just 3 a.m. The cops, 2 each player has 2. And then we got a bunch of other notes in our notebook. Let's bring in Joseph. Let's bring in PJ.
We're bringing in the boys.
KVV,
We're bringing in KVV.
KVV, I want to get, you have some notes. You have like 3 things you want to talk about from your
And then what we're going to do is we're going to draft out and then we're going to have a little game. We're going to have 4 teams, 6 players each, most points win, and we'll take submissions for what the loser should have to do.
Okay, and the boys are one team together, combined.
Here, so yeah, we gotta have.
You're all set.
The boys are gonna have to
this
cram
is great
it.
live TV.
Yeah.
Oh my God, are we really gonna be sitting
Look
5
at this.
across?
Yeah,
here?
we're gonna be.
PJ, are we really? Oh my God.
All
I
right.
feel like I'm on the couch with all my kids.
We got these throw pillows.
There's too
everywhere.
many pillows. What do the throw pillows serve?
Did HR talk to us about this? How close can we be here?
I want biggest points earner, leading USA, Euro points earner, and then winner overall too. When we're all said and done.
All right.
Leading USA.
Didn't prepare for this.
I didn't.
What are your 3
All right.
things, Kevin? What are your things that you?
All right, I'm calling this the KVV 3, the
Okay.
KVV Big 3.
All right.
I don't know whether that's terrible.
stick. I like it.
Brilliant. Just 3 things I wanted to talk about, just in general. The first one is the Nassau Players Club. Are you guys familiar with these guys? Do you know like a little bit about this?
Lightweight.
If you're not, I'm just giving you kind of quick rundown. So it's pretty hard to join a country club in Long Island. Obviously, you kind of need to be part of a certain tax bracket. And the Nassau Players Club claims that they are the first ever country club to be officially recognized by the USGA without owning any land. I don't know if that is true, but that's kind of part of their origin story, I guess, Orlando State Golf Association. Basically, it's like a group of guys who got together and formed a club and played for the most part at Bethpage State Park. And for a lot of years, the only way to get a tee time at Bethpage without being a part of the walk-up line was to call the phone system. There was no online bookings at the time, so it was only kind of by phone you could do it. You call 7 days in advance for the tee times to sort of open up, and you'd basically, the whole thing would get booked out in like 10 seconds because there were so many people who wanted tee time there. Well, a couple of guys from the Nassau Players Club figured out that you could essentially hack the system because you could enter a number and the system wouldn't kick you off unless you were sort of idle for like 9 seconds. So you had to enter your player number and then your New York license number and all that. And basically, like, they would start dialing at like 6:56 if the times were going to open at 7, and they'd be like, 7 and wait like 9 seconds and then 5. And so they figured it out that they could time it right up to the exact moment when the tee times would come open. And then they started using like auto dialers to do this. And they just basically scooped up all the tee times, like all the Joe Publics out there who were trying to desperately play the black, play the red, play yellow, whatever, the blue, could not get a tee time because they were sort of all scooped up by the Nassau Players Club. And you basically had to be kind of a stick to be in the Nassau Players Club. You couldn't be like a 20 hacker. So it was like kind of screwing over the everyman. Well, Keegan brought the Nassau Players Club into essentially the Ryder Cup room this week and celebrated them as though they were kind of the everyman and promised them all Ryder Cup tickets. And then this week they're sort of sewn on to the bottom of the bags as a sort of symbol from the Nassau Players Club. So, maybe not illegal, but not exactly in the spirit of
they're being lionized.
Yes.
They're being propped up as like, and when in fact they might be like the big problem.
Yeah,
when if you ask the everyman Long Island golfer like PJ Clark, the Nassau Players Club.
PJ, are you a member of the Nassau Players Club?
They're the enemy.
I'm not.
You're not?
They stole that. They booked all the
They
tee
might make
times.
you an honorary one after this podcast.
I think I'm good. I'm good on that.
They seem insufferable. I'm just gonna put it down.
Oh
there.
man, that's
Like they're just up their own ass. Like they're just up their own ass. Come on. And then you have Keegan, who's probably not been to Bethpage in 20 years. I'm like, we are the Nassau Players Club this week. Our roster, Sam Burns, you are the Nassau Players Club. Little do they know, there's like a great amount of resentment and justified.
The one thing I would say though is, do you think Keegan knows about this? Like,
No.
I would sort of maybe offer a counter argument. Keegan, big Patriots fan. This is like ethically gray area, maybe not illegal. I'm not sure that this is maybe an area where Giants fans and Patriots fans could kind of meet in the middle. Anyway, that seems kind of insane.
What did the Jets fans do then?
They just watch from the sidelines. They kind of throw rocks at the whole situation. It just kind of was interesting commentary. Just like if people were hacking the old course so that locals could not play the old course, not like blocking tourists, but blocking locals from being played the old course. Like, I don't think that the European Ryder Cup would bring these people and sew it on the bag and make it like a celebration.
But that just
super weird.
So much of this stuff is just marketing and
sure.
not the real deal on the ground with the Ryder Cup.
My second one I just want to talk about is JJ Spawn. So in Italy, U.S. had a Ryder Cup rookie named Wyndham Clark, won the U.S. Open, kind of out of nowhere, and candidly, it did not go great for Wyndham Clark. A lot of shanks in big moments in matches.
Clark.
Just kind of shrank from the moment. So now we have a new rookie, JJ Spawn, winner of the U.S. Open once again.
Sure.
I kind of think JJ is made of tougher stuff. There hasn't been a lot of discussion about JJ this week. They asked him this week, though, he did do his sit-down interview, asked him if he'd ever dreamed of playing in the Ryder Cup, and he was like, nope. I never actually believed that I was going to do this.
That he didn't come up.
love that.
If he was a Nassau Players Club, he would have just made up a story about dreaming.
for the cameras.
But he said when he had a daughter, he heard the song "Let It Go" from Frozen like 10 million times. He said it was like literally like every day he'd hear it 100 times, and he decided to make it his mantra. And this as a girl dad, as a Abu El Banat, and the West Wing fans I recognize as a hit deeply for me. JJ said it hit deep in my soul. I feel like American fans have an opportunity to do something they don't often do very well, which is serenade their players with songs. The Europeans do this really well all the time. JJ should, if you're an American fan out there, get a bunch of people to sing "Let It Go" to JJ after big moments or parts from this thing. Is it cheesy? Yes. Is it any cheesier than freaking making up songs about Rory that are like to the Cranberries songs or like stuff like that or whatever the Europeans do. Yeah, it's about on the same level. So bring it out.
Well, my whole thing about that is that is his authentic lived experience.
Yes.
Like I just started I watched this movie a million times. I started singing it to myself.
Yeah.
It mattered as opposed to putting cameras everywhere. So when the 9/11 firefighter comes and you're just like talk about it. Like there's not cameras everywhere. That's how he was authentic. Yeah. It's not for content.
Whoa, the firefighters just happened to stumble across this. I wonder if they have a speech prepared. And the third and last thing that I want to talk about here is we've talked a lot about this week about how privately, I guess, about how there's two likely storylines to emerge from the outcome, whatever it is. Either the Americans lose and they're in crisis, or the Europeans lose and it's sort of the home team has too big of an advantage. Like we got to change some sort of setup, whatever. I actually think there's a third one that we haven't really discussed that much that I think would be really entertaining from a content perspective, and that is a 14-14 tie. There's nothing that would drive the non-golf watching public more batshit than a 14-14 tie.
When was the last 14-14 tie?
1989. We've had it twice in the Ryder Cup.
It would go. People would be so
Oh my god! So
I'd be rolling on the floor.
We did
rolling down the first.
We did have a Solheim Cup that ended in 14-14 tie in 2023 in Spain, but that wasn't quite big enough to sort of become part of the cultural zeitgeist. A tie in the Ryder Cup would definitely do that. We had just a couple weeks ago the president of the United States complaining about the kickoff rule in the NFL and about the pussiness of a potential rollback. I feel like this would set off the president in an amazingly interesting way.
I wonder what LeBron would think about it.
LeBron would also wait. So this is what makes it great. It takes it from like fun to great, is that all these people who normally don't follow golf at all would weigh in with like the worst possible takes. And it reminds me of when the World Cup comes around every 4 years and the Americans get beat down and there's all these people who are like, they should really let you use your hands in soccer. Like, they should make the goals bigger. Like they should eliminate the offside rule because they cannot handle something that has been around for a long time. So I just would like to, say, I think that frankly, just in general, I would love to see Trump give a speech sometime just about this stuff in general, about the money stuff. If we're gonna lean away from the politics but lean into the comedy of Trump, having him riff on all of this stuff would be kind of a weird delight for me. So
if there's a tie, Europe retains.
That's
Do you think they're doing the champagne and the
I think so,
Tommy,
yes.
Tommy,
They did it in '89.
Yeah.
They were.
It's kind of a great.
But they don't stitch it on the 4 away wins. Do you stitch
Correct.
that? This is now a 5th away win.
I think why this is a great outcome also is that you get 2 of the scenarios because U.S. becomes a team in crisis.
Yes.
And you get the entire world up in arms
What is this?
about the tie.
Yeah.
So you actually get 2 extraordinary outcomes for content. Again, I always just root for content.
Oh, and we get to every potential match becomes a blaming thing for it. There's every person can basically say they either won or lost the Ryder Cup.
Yep.
Just content bonanza.
I love that. The KVV3.
Yeah.
KVV3.
Nassau Players Club, a tie, and what was the middle?
JJ
The JJ
Hart,
spot.
all
right.
Go. All right. Let's
Now
do
we're
our
gonna
draft.
we're gonna do our draft.
Let's
we
go
got
in order.
We got the team of the boys.
All right.
The boys, they're gonna have to come to consensus.
Put 2 minds together though. They have twice the potential.
These are
might be too much. They
These
might
are 2 young boys that haven't seen much of the world. So
What?
I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but okay.
I think they haven't.
Like
They haven't
Rasmus.
seen, they haven't seen the world.
Are we the Hoygaard twins of this experience?
Yeah, there you go.
You
There
are.
you go.
And we got KVV and then me and BP.
I hope I'm in the shot. I
We'll
can't
let
really
the,
tell.
we'll let
Oh,
the
well.
youth take the first pick. So the way we're gonna go here, we'll do the snake draft, but it's based off of total points won. So the person with the most points on the week between their 6 golfers wins, and then whoever has the least loses, and we'll figure it out. It looks like everybody's in the shot.
You're good.
Everybody's in the
You're
shot.
good.
Yeah.
We're
That
snake
matters.
drafting this?
Yeah,
I
you
assume?
got first pick.
All right, we got first pick.
Yeah.
We reached a very quick consensus. If you're just going to give us the free square,
I got a bike. I'm good. We're taking Russell Henley.
All right, I'm recording it here.
He's playing with Scotty. He's the third-ranked player in the world now. I mean, come on. We're
Is
taking
he
Russell
ranked
Henley.
third in the world?
Yeah, that's crazy.
We're taking Russell Henley.
I would have to pay him less in his contract just because he's the first pick.
Yeah,
Like,
they're getting value. They're trying to get.
Who
like
else
a-
would you take first?
You're doing the MLB thing where you have a
Yes,
bracket.
slot
You're trying
value.
to- yeah.
I think we got great value.
slot?
I
value.
think he would have been available when he came back around.
No, I mean, that would have been a mistake.
Yeah.
If Russell Henley went 8th, that would have been a mistake.
All right, so we got 6 guys. Who's up next?
wow. I'm going to take Scotty Scheffler, who I didn't think would be on the board.
So here's
but
the thing.
You're handcuffed.
You need us to do well.
I do, yeah. No, true. I mean, but I feel like you guys can't do well without me either.
Oh, I don't
and
know
also,
about
I
that.
could win
I don't know.
a singles match on Sunday, which you might not. So I.
This is no faith in Russell Henley.
Well, I guess I'll take Rory McIlroy then.
Decent pick, yeah.
I'm going to take, along the same lines, Tommy Fleetwood.
All right,
I'm gonna grab
we're all
Fleetwood,
attached at the hip
and
right
then
now.
we're going back down the other way, going ultimate feast or famine, fella. The tipping point, Bryson DeChambeau.
Yes.
Could go bad, could go good. If you're basically, I'm picking him saying the U.S. is going to win similar to Whistling Straits, and that's like what you're hoping for.
All right, I will go. I'll take John Rahm.
Good pick. That's a great pick. Forgot he's in it sometimes, you know?
Sometimes you forget. I needed to create this Excel sheet really quickly.
Yeah.
And, there's not a lot of easy ways to just copy and paste. So I asked ChatGPT to create a list of the 2025 Ryder, just an Excel sheet of the 2025, and it put Matt Wallace on it. So
I mean,
even AI thinks Matt Wallace was snubbed.
there's still
Lads
time
Club.
for.
What
Marco
is
Penji.
AI's take on the Lads Club?
There's still time if
I don't
someone
know, I
gets
haven't
hurt.
asked them.
They could slide Matt Wallace right in. I mean, I'm sure Matt Wallace is not ready for that call, but that's why Noren brought his clubs.
Well,
So-
Noren's ready to go.
Okay. I'm going to take Victor Hovland.
Oh, man.
He was talking about what a sick range session he had. I don't know if you saw this tonight. The posted a clip of him talking about after the dinner, and he was like, I've never had a better range session than I had, which for a guy who has like 7-hour range sessions, it must have been pretty decent.
I've heard that he's been drawing the ire of the team room. They've been making jokes about Victor's spinny driver this week. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Searching? Or
no,
just spinny?
Just spinny.
teasing.
I'm gonna keep the joke.
All right, okay, all right.
To myself.
All right.
All right, KVV, if you'd pass the mic to Joseph for a second selection here.
PJ and I feel very good about
we're
where we
in
are. We're
lockstep.
cooking. We're cooking. Quick consensus again with pick 2. We are taking.
Mercedes-Benz ambassador Ludwig Oberg.
Oh, my God.
He's probably getting to and from in a GLS. Those driver assist systems probably helping him out.
Taking the young gun.
With plenty of room for
Yeah.
his clubs,
He's got a
his
lot
wag,
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
caddy.
He might be transporting the whole team in
All
that,
right,
in
all
that
right,
car.
all right.
because
They're
not sponsored. Let's go back- they're not
There's a
sponsored.
lot of room. I've heard they're great
They're
cars.
great. I would take one.
Are we good on our next one?
Well, you got the loop. You got the
Snake. What? Come on.
I mean, he hasn't got yet.
You're like JB Holmes on the first tee at
I
Port
think
Rush.
he can
Make
get
a
back.
pick.
I think he can get back.
All right. All right, take it
Make
away.
it-
All right,
Okay.
no, we can't screw it up. We'll overdraft Cameron Young just so we don't lose him.
All right. Okay.
We're taking Cameron Young. We're taking Cameron Young.
PJ, I hate to inform you, but after the third round is the start of the keeper eligible players. So you guys really screwed up the draft.
Oh, with two young
because
guys.
you could have picked Cam Young in the second and then
And
kept
then, we could have had
Yeah.
Ludwig for
Lost
20
his
years.
birthright.
Yeah,
Lost his
yeah. I apologize. I might not have mentioned the rules, but I just wanted you
There
to
are
feel
rules?
jammed.
All right. I am going to swoop in and take Tommy Fleetwood.
He's already
He's
off
Whoa,
the
whoa,
board. He's
whoa,
off
whoa,
the board. He
whoa,
was the
whoa,
fourth.
whoa,
He was
time
the
out.
fourth
Whoa,
pick of the
whoa,
draft.
Oh, loser pick? Is this like the? Oh my God! It's like
He
when
was the fourth pick of the draft by
damn it.
Ravens
me.
are taking Jimmy Smith. The
Oh my
Vikings
God.
just
Okay.
jumped.
I'm so sorry. That's so embarrassing.
Here's the
fine.
list. Here's the list. I got the list.
This is
right
why I
here.
had to wear my reading glasses for this. I would say I will take frick. How about Patrick Cantlay?
Oh, he was highlighted. He was highlighted on
Good
the.
pick.
So KVV takes the house cat.
It's a
He's
good
not the
pick.
original house cat.
Patty
Xander's
Ice.
the original house cat.
Patty Ice.
Man, who am I gonna? I guess I've got Rom. I'm gonna double up,
Good
and I'm gonna
pick.
take his Legion 13 teammate. They've already crossed the Rubicon, so I don't know. Do they recross the Rubicon?
Someone apparently Rubicon's like this little puddle. And it's like actually not that big a thing. It's made of this mythology. Like this is all the MF Rubicon is. Somebody saw it up close. It's like you could hop over it. Maybe
So
they recross
I've
it.
got Hatton. I've got
All right.
Tyrrell.
I get back to backs here.
Yeah, you get back to
There's
back.
we can only go up. I think we can only go up with this fella. Record can only improve. Might have a good handcuff with Rory. I'm going Fitzy.
He's
Fitzy.
1-7.
Fitzy.
Wow.
This side of the couch wanted that real bad.
The Northwestern-
we wanted that to come back real bad.
The Northwestern connection with his captain. You know, he's a little dyed in the wool
I didn't
wildcat.
think about that.
I'm going with Fitzy. He's got can only go up from here. And then, man, there's just not a lot of appealing American options. I'll go Shane Lowry as well.
Oh,
Shane
wow.
Lowry. I'm kind of splashing the board here on the Euro side now.
I'm worried I only have Euros. I'm looking, I really like €1, but I feel like at this point I have to diversify, unless I just say I'm going to get all 14.5 points on my Euros. I guess I'm going to take...
Feels like there's a lot of Americans we're not sold on.
You know, Colin Morikawa's got a new putter in the bag for the week, so I don't like
that's
that.
great.
That's
Scuttlebutt. That's for your gambling heads up there. Morikawa, new putter.
New putter in the bag this week, so I don't like that. Plus the form. I guess I'll go Xander because of the track record with Cantlay. I think that's a strong pairing. I'm gonna take Xander, so he's off the board.
God. All right. I'm very hesitant to do this, but I feel like if the Americans are going to have a good Ryder Cup, that Justin Thomas has to be like a good player, and so I'm going to take Justin Thomas. I'm very nervous about this pick because his driver has not been good. One of my original big three things was that Justin Thomas is like horrendous with the driver right now. But I'm gonna take the gamble that he's gonna rise to the moment. Keegan Bradley says he was made to play Ryder Cups at Bethpage Black. Which doesn't seem like something that is true about a guy who can't drive it very well.
As long as he doesn't have to hit driver or shotgun a beer.
It's true. If you didn't know, JT responded to me. We were joking this week about someone asked me in my AMA if I could shotgun a Dr. Pepper faster than PJ, and I said no, but I can.
I
shotgun.
don't even like Dr. Pepper.
Yeah,
So you probably could.
Okay.
I would.
Dr. Pepper is disgusting.
It is.
That's a
It's
low key
terrible.
like
It's
take.
awful.
But and I said no, but I could shotgun a beer faster than Justin Thomas, and Justin Thomas admitted that was true because he's terrible at shotgunning beers.
Well, he's watched it in Wisconsin. He just poured it down his shirt.
But it seemed like it'd be a JT thing to be like, oh, that's not fair. Like I was, rushed or
Self-deprecation
I could do
at this
better.
point.
But
Yeah,
the
yeah.
JT's
Good.
becoming kind
Good
of
for him.
self-aware.
Because he's had a kid.
That's right.
Yeah.
Perspective.
They humble you.
No, honestly, I think the superstar American golfer cannot be normal until they have a kid.
I like that take.
Interesting.
Maybe
Tiger?
become a worse golfer, but then
Yeah, they all get worse.
they all get worse. It's not even like a controversial take.
All right, we feel good. I think
We're ready.
I think we got a real two keepers here potentially in rounds 4 and 5.
We should
You
have
take it
planned
away.
this out even more, but
Yes.
now we're getting correlated.
We're going
here.
pot committed.
We're getting correlated. We're going all in. We took Cameron Young.
Okay.
We're taking Ben Griffin, Benny Booms,
Benny Boom.
and just going all in.
We're playing for that pod.
boys.
Playing for that pod.
I feel like the boys have a boys team.
That's what else were you
Yeah.
gonna do? And you know what? We're gonna double down on it.
Benny Booms, more like Benny Bunts. Huh?
Gonna double down. Your favorite player, Big Shot Bob. Come on down.
Good pick.
It's gonna be.
Come on, I think
like
that's
Bob.
great value.
I like Bob this week. I like Bob.
He's undefeated.
the fans
Never lost.
He's
That's a storyline
That's
graphic
a
that I
storyline
can't put up
graphic
right
we
now.
can't put up right now. But will
I'll put it up.
will Big Shot Bob stay undefeated? What do you guys think?
Two.
yeah.
What's undefeated mean?
He's
How many?
2-0
What's
and
the
1
sample
so
size?
far.
All right, 2-0. and
Except
1.
we're going to run into our pairings playing against ourselves. So from that standpoint, no. If he runs into BG and Cameron Young, it's an L. So we'll see.
All right, KVV up or
I'm a little bit
undefeated.
threatened by
Big shot,
That's
Bob.
what you got left.
You know what? We're gonna go vibes here. I'm taking Harris English. Harris occasionally will DM me about going to an Isbell show. We've never actually met in real life, but
Oh, that's cool.
very into like drive-by truckers and like kind of my shit, and so I'm
Well, that's got to be worth the point.
yeah.
right?
So put it on the board.
God, I really don't like my options here. I'm gonna lean into a good thing. I hear this man is the most beloved man in the team room. I would be remiss if I didn't have the tank.
There we go.
The tank. I'm bringing him on. He's liked by both teams.
In true, like, from Vienna and Valdosta fashion, it seems like both teams are so excited to give him a 5-star and a hug every time I see him. Everybody loves Seth.
He's the first player on the European team, ever to have a Southern drawl.
Yes, that's correct. All right, so I've got back-to-back. I'm just going to leave you all with the detritus here. Rosie, somehow still
I
That's a good value pick. I
missed him.
I
in the
thought
late
he would
rounds.
be gone by now.
The
Not
problem
a
is,
keeper.
I don't think he's playing. He's just playing once a day, probably, right?
How many years older is he?
7. That's also a storyline graphic that I can't put
7
up.
years older
Old
than
man.
the next oldest
So
player.
here's
just
my
Shane
question:
Lowry.
If, as KVV wrote, if he is the captain next time around, if you keep Justin Rose, do you then get all of Europe's points next time? Because he's responsible.
There are
for-
no keepers.
like one of those fantasy leagues where-
there are no keepers.
it's like one of those fantasy
I'm
leagues
just
where
playing by the rules.
I'll also then. I need another American. I'm all Euros right now. I'll go slamming Sammy Burns. If it does indeed turn into a putting contest, then I would like to have one of the better putters in the world, Slam Sam Burns. That's my team. I'm done.
You took the last European I felt like I could take. I'm taking JJ Spawn. I think JJ Spawn honestly might be a top 5
he might
American
be.
player.
Yeah.
He might be.
Could be.
Now we're just saying shit.
So you got Morikawa or Højgaard.
I gotta go Morikawa. It is like such a dispiriting thing that he is like the second to last player on the board. Like what an indictment of how far it's fallen. I mean, he was awesome in whistling, and here we are back on home soil again, and he's the second to last.
Think
player.
about it at the beginning. Think about on Saturday at Kapalua.
Yeah.
Saying that Colin Morikawa would be the second to last player picked in a Ryder Cup draft. Wild.
That makes the last guy the appropriate last guy.
I love that the boys got
actually-
fellow Gen Z.
I feel pretty good about this. I got to be honest. I don't know who they're going to play him with, but I feel pretty good.
This is Rasmus Højgaard going last, 24th to the boys.
Well, underratedly, we have Nikolai too, because if they just swap in, nobody would know.
I mean, Rasmus might get. Is he going to get the Yarmo, Coulthard, Vandevelde?
He's playing. They're playing him Friday.
I know. That concludes our draft.
Joseph,
we'll post
how do you
the
feel
results
about our
of
team?
this.
I mean, bypassing Scotty and Rory with the first pick and going straight to Henley
It was
is a
intentional.
stroke of genius.
This is intentional.
We're locked and loaded.
Love it.
If the boys could have one other roster, who would you go? Who would you go for? Who would you trade your roster for?
We really wanted Sam Burns down here. we were
Burns,
really
Fleetwood,
fired
Rose.
up about Sam Burns.
I got Shane Lowry.
I
I heard
feel like
Lowry's hitting it
The
well.
value on the turn that way
Yes, right.
ended up pretty
Right.
well.
All right. Real question though. We'll start down you. Come down to the couch to me. Biggest point earner for the U.S., Europe, and then winner overall.
Oh boy. I will. I think I will genuinely take Russell Henley.
Not life or death.
I'll take Russell Henley for the U.S. I think that's great value in the gambling markets for anybody listening to this as a gambling podcast. I'll go.
Well, everybody's listening to it.
Obviously,
it's a gambling
preeminent.
podcast.
Nobody's putting
Tommy-
nobody has a card yet
Tommy-
until they listen to this podcast.
Tommy
On my
Fleetwood.
card is Henley. No.
Tommy Fleetwood for Europe, and as much as it pains me to say this as somebody who's waited for this for half of my life, I think the United States is going to lose. I'll go 15.5, 12.5.
Wow.
Europe.
Does that add up the right way? Okay.
Yeah, 28.
All right.
I don't know if you know this. PJ went to Syracuse.
That's right.
He knows how to do those.
Proper genius
Journalism
stuff.
school is not a big math development.
Lamagna?
Scotty, I'm going Scotty, top USA points earner.
That
So
also
I know.
means Russell Henley has to be good.
Yeah, it does. Top Euro.
I mean, is he going to hold his hand in singles as he hits a 240?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll go Rom. I'll zag a little bit. I can't go Scotty and Rory. I'll go Rom, top Euro points earner. And then in terms of win, I've kind of waffled back and forth. I feel like this one's going to be very, very competitive. I think Europe just barely gets it done. So I'll go 14.5, 13.5 Europe.
All right. Kevin, top earners each side.
God, is everybody going to pick
I'm
Europe?
going to end the show. You take this.
No.
I'm gonna go Bryson Shambo, top point earner in the arena, like his dream scenario.
Yeah, you passed on Bryson.
I
when you
did
had the
pass
chance
on
to
him.
We're going to have some
pick up.
fun pods if that's happening.
You know, he didn't fit with our character assessment. You know, we just a lot of the talk of bots, and I couldn't get it.
Couldn't get over the bot talk.
Top European, Victor Hovland, and I'm gonna stick with my prediction: 14-14 tie.
Oh, my God. That would be chaos.
All right. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with JJ Spawn as top U.S. points earner because he's on my team.
Top U.S.
Excuse
points
me.
earner under 5'9"? What are we talking about?
I'm trying to see who else I have on the. That's an American. I'm only putting out good vibes for my team members here. I'm not rooting for any of your guys' team members. I will go with I'll go with Rory for top points on the Europe side because he's on my team.
Uh-huh.
And then I already said my prediction on Monday on Fried Egg, which was 14.5, 13.5 Europe.
Okay.
I think this is gonna be a tight ball game. We haven't had a close one in a long time. I think the teams at the golf course sets up for a close battle. I think Europe gets it done, and then when we look back on the year, it's like the year that Rory McIlroy basically did all these
Fulfilled
like
all
crazy
his,
crazy accomplishments between the Irish, the Grand Slam, Pebble winning at a venue he hadn't won yet that's like an iconic venue in the game, and then winning an away Ryder Cup at Bethpage.
Pretty good deal. And Scotty won 2 majors. And
Yeah.
we remember it more, maybe more for Rory's stuff. I will go with Scotty as the top points earner on the U.S. side. I'll zag from the ROM and go Hatton. I think it's one of those two guys. If you're not doing Rory, I'll go Hatton, Scotty.
You had Fleetwood though.
And
He's on
then-
your team.
Yeah,
You picked him
I'm
4.
not doing this. I'm going to put multiple. I'm going to hedge myself. I'm going to diversify the portfolio here.
Great question from the chat for you. More points, United States or Browns?
The United States or Browns. More points against the Lions, the Great Lakes Classic, Battle for the Barge. I'm going to say the United States. I'm going to pick them to win 15.5 to 12.5. I guess that's close. As far as a home game goes, that's close. A 3-point spread. It's not 6, it's not 9 or 8, whatever it was at Whistling Straits. But I do think the U.S. Will get it done by the margin of 3. Any fights? Where's the controversy coming from? Rory says it's inevitable. What about that? Anyone want to throw a prediction out for that?
If the Americans win, the European media will blame the Americans, like blame the crowd. It will be another Brookline situation.
Hey, I mean,
that is my lock solid prediction.
I do think the PGA has sort of courted a potential ugly situation. I want to say they're like setting it up for ugliness, but they've courted the possibility.
All the tickets are all you can drink, right?
Well, they've just hyped it as the loudest, biggest. Not all you can drink. Just not NA.
Okay.
I think they've if it gets bad, the PGA is not. I don't want to say they have they're guilty, but they've courted a situation by hyping it up as this is New York and it's gonna be loud as hell and all that stuff. But yeah, could get dicey. All right, I think that does it for our Ryder Cup preview podcast. Low key favorite of the moment of the day. The music on the first tee, or the range this morning. It's like straight out. Now that's what I call music volume 2.
Yeah.
And Mr. Jones, Counting Crows, Rhiannon.
Rhiannon,
Blinded by the Light, Only Want to Be With You by Hootie Blowfish, and Semi-Charmed Life, which, PJ, what was your comment to me?
I love warming up to songs about crystal
meth.
I love warming up to songs about crystal meth. So that's the like 1992
Lift
playlist
you up until you won't stop.
going on. So we'll see what they have on Thursday and Friday. Can't wait to get the Ryder Cup going here. We'll pop in once we get lineups
Maybe.
Thursday. Maybe. 5 p.m. I think that would be.
Just pay attention.
Maybe.
Pay attention.
Yeah.
We might be on. We might not be.
That podcast will have a shelf life of 5 hours or whatever, but we might do that Thursday.
Depends what
after.
we're doing tomorrow.
Maybe we'll be, at the village or somewhere.
We could
but-
be spitballing.
Yeah,
We could be,
yeah.
if it rains all day, we could be out with an umbrella, writing
Doing promos.
speeches.
Don
Oh,
Ray
that
made
Ray.
everybody. Made just a guy Kinnings. He even forced them all to do that opening ceremony video. So,
I've heard that
cut a
there-
promo.
It could be, throttling down Don.
Clearly, yeah. All right.
Podcast is making people throttle down.
This podcast, we're not throttling down anything. We're going. Maybe Thursday, definitely Friday after play. Can't wait. Thanks for your support. We'll talk to you whenever we talk to you next.